And then he completes the verse with, beware of the mutilation. This is a scathing phrase directed to the very heart of the sect of Judaizers, circumcision. He uses a word found only here in the New Testament. It indicates to mutilate or to spoil. A word in English which meets the irony of this word would be concision, which would then stand opposed to circumcision. Paul, in essence, is saying that those who are Jews in flesh only are simply flesh mutilated and fleshed mutilators. That's all they are. If you say you need to be circumcised in order to be right before God, you are a flesh mutilator, okay? And you are flesh mutilated. But that's all you are, because your heart is not right with the Lord. And Paul specifically argues against, and then people say, well, you're a Gentile, you don't need to be circumcised, but you still need to observe the whole law, okay? Well, if you fail at one part of the law, you've broken the whole law. We know that from James, okay? But circumcision is a precept. It is a part of what? The law.
Well, it is.
It's right there in the book of Leviticus. It's not only given by Moses, okay? Given by Abraham. It is also mandated by Moses in the book of Leviticus. And so if you say, okay, well, Paul says you don't need to be circumcised, you're a Gentile, but you still need to do all of these other things, I'm sorry, you're wrong. Because he has just said that you don't need to be circumcised, but that is a part of the law of Moses. So what part of the law of Moses am I to adhere to? And who are you to tell me? Right? There's just no way that their argument will ever stand up. And Paul, in essence, is saying that those who are Jews in flesh only are simply flesh mutilated and flesh mutilators. They boast in the flesh, but speak against the grace of Christ. Much of the book of Galatians deals with exactly this subject. I'd say all of the book of Galatians. He begins with it, he ends with it, and everything in the middle is about this subject. Watch out for these people. The warning there is so strong that he sums up the process of physical circumcision with these words of Galatians. I already said them to you, but I'll read them again just so that you know. It's Galatians chapter 5, 1 through 4. Stand fast, therefore, in the liberty by which Christ has made us free, and do not be entangled again with a yoke of bondage. What does Paul call observance of the law in the book of Acts chapter 15? A yoke that our fathers could not bear, right? That's what Paul is referring to. They're very consistent. Peter. Did I say Paul again?
You did.
I do it all the time. Thank you, Peter. Okay, Paul didn't speak in Acts chapter 15. Peter did. So, he did cite Paul. But anyway, thank you for correcting me. I do it all the time. If I mean Peter, I say Paul. And if I mean Paul, I'll say Peter. Okay, indeed, I, Paul, say to you that if you become circumcised, here it is, I just told you, Christ will profit you nothing. And I testify again to every man who becomes circumcised that he is a debtor to keep the whole law. You have become estranged from Christ. You who attempt to be justified by law, you have fallen from grace. It is either the law or it is the grace of Christ. And as I said, if you are going to have your foot in both puddles, the one that is the law will take precedence. It will be the puddle that you drown in. That's all there is to it. So be careful. Be careful. Watch that. It's a precept that you are not to forget. Do not get sucked back into the law of Moses.
Yeast.
The little yeast ruins the whole lump. And he says...